Hello, good evening, everyone. I'm so delighted to welcome you for today's training. And this is the 21 days of this 1 month free professional training, peace and conflict management. It means that for the past 21 days, we have been having this training, and we are getting close to the concluding part of this training. So I will encourage you to not to miss this remaining parts of the training. And we are hopeful that we will be done with the training soon. But I'm not sure your examination will come very soon. Your examination will come after your presentation. So if we should just get ready that you are going to write your exams after your presentation. So get ready with your presentation. We will start very soon. Maybe in December we'll be less busy. So maybe we'll have time to do the presentation uh, for more groups in a day, maybe 5 groups in a day, as the case may be. Uh-huh. So we can be able to do 5 groups in a day. It means that we can be able to finish it in how many days? In 10 or 11, 15 days, we are done with the training. All right. So that is it. But I must say, I want to sincerely appreciate those of you that have been taking time to connect, participate effectively. Uh, you are making this training worthwhile, and we appreciate you. And also, thank you for sharing. Thank you for always sharing it for people to get to know what's happening here. So we sincerely appreciate all of you. Um, and for those of you that will be inducted in Abuja, I think we are in a week of our convention and also in a week of our induction. So if you want to be part of the Abuja induction and you have not applied yet, you have not paid your induction fee yet, please try and do. I can see Ikejiaku is here. I think it's one of them to be inducted in Abuja. And who is? Am I seeing any other person here? All right, but a good number of them are participating in the training that will be inducted as well. So I really appreciate you. And for those of you that have not registered to be part of our convention is coming up very soon on Saturday this week. You can take you can take part. You can come and witness it. All right. So if you're in the city of Abuja, you can come and witness it. Um, and see how it's going to be. All right. Thank you very much. And for the online induction, yes, somebody's asking about online induction. Yes, we're going to have online induction in December. Yes, December 30th. All right. So that is before you cross next year, you must be inducted. And most especially those of you that are outside Nigeria that want to be part of the institute in terms of coordinating the activities of the institute in your country, you must try as much as possible to become a member because it's going to be a criteria for you to coordinate our program. If you are not a member, you cannot coordinate. Or you may coordinate, but not as a national coordinator, as a country coordinator. Do you understand? You may be, if you have this particular certificate, for instance, now you can coordinate, but not as a national or country coordinator. If for you to qualify to coordinate at the national level in your country, you must become a member of the institute. I get a point on. So the induction is going to come up. Um, so you just, if you want to know more about it, you can join our WhatsApp group. We'll be sharing details of the induction and how it's going to be and all of that. And then very soon we're going to also release a flyer for those that will be interested to coordinate our program in Cameroon, in Kenya, in Zambia, in Ethiopia, in Malawi, in Zimbabwe, in Botswana, which country again? There are some countries, Rwanda, Uganda, uh-huh, You understand? So if you are interested to coordinate our programs in any of these countries, you can apply. And then maybe Lesotho also. Lesotho, I think, is in South Africa, but you can also be part of it. All right. So this is it. So anybody that is interested to be part of this institute as an official in your own country, you can apply. Yes, we will release the flyer very soon and the guideline on how to apply and the qualification so that you know what is expected of you. So thank you very much for taking time to be part of today's training. I welcome all of you for today's training, and we hope that at the end of the training you will get to learn something from it. And then concerning our group presentation, please, if you don't have a group, do wait to join a group and have a group. Yeah, somebody sent from the Gambia. All right. So from the Gambia too, since we have Gambians in our midst, I think we have to give them the privilege to also coordinate our program, Gambia. Um, so thank you very much. We appreciate you. And then possibly also in South Sudan. All right. South Sudan also need this. All right. So if you're from South Sudan, you're warming up also to be part of the institute. So thank you very much. We appreciate all of you for taking time to be part of today's training. And today we'll be looking at module 6. We are in module 6 now. So the reason why I'm not rushing to give you manual is because I know that you are not going to write your exam first week after this training. It's not possible because by then you will not be done with your presentation. So just concentrate on participating now. But before the month end, you have your material. I'm already done with the material set, but I don't just want to release it. I'm still holding it so that you concentrate and then you understand to join this meeting. But some of you have the manual, you relax. So it's better you concentrate and join the training, hear from the horse's mouth, and then from there you can go and compare what I was saying in the class with what is in the manual, and then before I know you write your exams. All right. So we're looking at module 6, which is peace psychology and conflict transformation. Peace psychology and what? Conflict transformation. Peace psychology and conflict transformation. Psychology of peace, all right, and conflict transformation. So we'll be looking at psychological approaches to conflict. We'll be looking at the role of psychology in understanding conflict behaviors, concept of aggression, concept of fear, and trauma in conflict. We'll also look at some psychological theories of conflict transformation. All right. So this is what we'll be looking at. I hope we'll have time to finish it before our time elapsed for today's training because we have a lot of notes here to look at. Yes. So psychology of peace and or peace psychology and conflict transformation, you know, they are two concepts that focus on addressing the root causes of conflict, and they also try to promote non-violent solutions. You understand? They also promote sustainable peace. They try to address the root causes of conflict. As I'm talking about peace psychology and conflict transformation. In I told you in conflictology, which is a field that has to do with conflict management, conflict resolution, and conflict transformation. All right. When it comes to conflict transformation, you are changing a negative situation to a positive situation. Are you getting a point now? So this is what we're looking at here. So this, when we talk about peace psychology and conflict transformation, all of them are geared towards doing what? Making sure that the root causes of conflict are being addressed. That's number one. They promote non-violent solution. That is, we are saying that in this case, any violent solutions to conflict is not welcome. And then they promote sustainable peace as well. Right. So, but when we talk about peace psychology, what are we referring to? Peace psychology is a subfield of psychology that examines the psychological aspect of peace, conflict, violence, and non-violence. All right, it aims to understand the cognitive, the emotional, and the social factors that contribute to peace or violence and to promote strategies for building lasting peace. So we are looking at those factors, whether cognitive or emotional or sociological, that contribute either to peace or to violence. Do you understand? Because all of this can facilitate peace and also can facilitate conflicts. Do you understand? The state of our emotion can either promote peace or promote what? Violence. That's just what it is. So we want to look at how this contributes to these factors. Do you understand? To these issues that we're trying to address, the issue of peace and conflict. Do you understand? So one of the key concepts when we're talking about peace psychology, we're looking at structural violence. This is where the issue of structural violence comes in. That is indirect violence. That is violence that is not physical, all right? That is not um that is not that it's not, you know, you're not seeing that attack physically, but they are embedded. They are embedded in what? They are embedded in social, economic, political systems. Do you understand? I'm talking about structural violence. We say it's indirect violence embedded in social, economic, or political systems. Talk about political, we talk about poverty, for instance. Now, poverty is what? It's an economic problem. It's also a social problem. You understand? And then we'll talk about inequality. It's a social problem, all right? It's also an economic problem. And then we'll talk about political instability. You understand? All of these, they may not be direct attacked or bad governance, for instance. Now, it's a political issue. Bad governance, all right? There are structural violence. This contributes, that is, they cause serious problem. Some of the crisis, some of the problem we see in our society today is because of poverty. Remove poverty out of it, you will not see it. If 90% of young people are engaged meaningfully, you will never see somebody on the street protesting. Protesting for what? If they go there to protest, we go there to protest for fun. Yes, maybe one injustice or here and there, they may go out to protest. That's what you see in advanced countries. People go out to protest on issues that are very, very critical to them, not some will go and protesting because of bad governance. You understand? So these are the issues. So then we have direct violence as another key concept in peace psychology. Direct violence, physical violence such as war, assault, or terrorism. This is where they come from. This is where they fall. This direct violence has to do with physical attack. You understand? And that's where this is where war, assault, or terrorism comes in. So anytime you are trying to harm somebody physically, what you are doing is direct violence. Do you understand? So know it. Cultural violence has to do with beliefs and ideologies that justify or legitimize violence. Racism, sexism, all of them. You know. So racism, they cause white, black. Yeah. So all these beliefs causes conflict. You understand? It causes violence, religious beliefs. they cause conflict. You understand? We talk about we talk about the issue of unbelievers. Unbelievers, you know, in the Muslim faith, we call them infidel. Infidel. Do you understand? Why the Christian call unbelievers? They say unbelievers tonight. Do you understand? So, and then there are even some scriptural or injunctions that refers to unbelievers and how unbelievers should be addressed. Do you understand? And this belief system constitutes some of the problems we have. And that's also sometimes we witness religious wars, religious crisis because of these beliefs. Do you understand? So that's what it is. So cultural violence or some people's way of life, like for instance now the traditional religion, for instance, is by its practice itself is violent inclined. Do you understand? How can you tell me that somebody's husband died and then you shave the person's hair, you just the person cannot do anything, you force a woman to drink some certain concoction simply because the husband died, and then you say it's the woman that killed? How about now? Calm down. You understand? So all of these things. So religious, um, there's traditional religion generally is embedded with all of these violence um, things. But these are cultural violence. Are you gonna point out? Right? In those days, they used to uh, before Mary Seriso came to stop the burning of the twins or the killing of the twins. In those days, they used to kill twins. When somebody gave birth to twins, instead of celebrating, double gifts of God, they killed them. They said it was a taboo until somebody have to stop that practice. It was a religious practice. Do you understand? It's a traditional belief system. It's a cultural issue. It happens. What's happening in Nigeria here, most especially the other side of, uh, most especially along the axis of Cross River and all of that. These kid twins. You understand? It was a taboo for a woman to give birth to two children. How? How? You understand? So, but that has been stopped. Do you understand? So, Mary Sediso stopped that. So, positive peace. So, we're talking about peace psychology. So, we're looking at some of the concepts that are embedded in peace psychologists, talking about positive peace. So the presence of justice, equality, and harmony beyond the absence of violence. So when a society is characterized with justice, equality, and harmony, good governance, functional governance or government, then we say that that society is what a peaceful society, right? Then we'll talk about negative peace, the mere absence of direct violence or conflict, but the presence of inequality, injustice. Are you at a point now? That is, there is a mere absence of direct violence. You cannot say physical attack, but there's injustice, there is, you know, inequality, there is discrimination, there is marginalization. You understand? All of those things are still part of the problem. I'll call them negative peace. If we have a society that is characterized with this, we regard it, whatever peace they're enjoying there, we regard it as a negative peace. You understand? So that is it. So let's look at conflict transformation. Conflict transformation. Conflict transformation refers to the long-term process of addressing the root causes of conflict and creating a more equitable and peaceful society. You understand? Conflict transformation refers to the long-term process of addressing the root causes of what conflict and creating a more equitable and peaceful society. So now conflict transformation move from the negative to positive. You understand? So it aims to transform what was initially considered as negative into a positive. That's transforming conflict into something good. So, unlike conflict resolution, which focuses on resolving specific disputes, conflict transformation emphasizes systemic change and improving relationship over time. Systemic what change? There must be a change. That is, the change must be from moving from that negative to positive direction going forward. You understand? Not just to not just to solving that problem at that time, but also to seeing that going forward, something positive is going to be happening. You understand? Not to be experiencing what we experience today. But in conflict resolution, it's possible that you resolve this problem today, tomorrow it still arise. You have to resolve it. But in conflict transformation, maybe a policy will be put in place that hey, going forward, that is transforming. There must be a change, a systemic change. You understand? Whereby we say that, okay, for instance, now we may solve the problem of discrimination, but discrimination may still occur, except there is a policy in place to say that nobody should be discriminated against. Do you understand? It's possible that you deny me an opportunity today, I may complain, and that problem may be resolved. I'll give my opportunity back, but there's a possibility that tomorrow someone also will be denied that opportunity. So, but in conflict transformation, it says that someone has been denied of the opportunity today. So in conflict transformation, what you're going to do is that you are not only going to address that denier, but you're also going to put something in place to make sure that nobody is being denied this kind of opportunity in times to come. That is conflict transformation for you. That is, you have been able to deal with the root cause of the problem. You remove that root cause of the problem and institutionalize something new that will facilitate the positive change as you progress. Do you understand? So that's what conflict transformation is all about. So, what are the key principles when it comes to conflict transformation? Transforming relationships. So, you are not just resolving problems, but you are transforming even relationships, right? And that happens through what? Dialogue, mutual understanding, and trust among conflict, parties or conflicting parties. So that's what it is. So transforming relationship is key. Another thing that is also involved here is addressing root causes, right? So you are not dealing with issues um just on the surface, but you're going down deep to remove the root cause of the problem. Do you understand? I say that if you cut down a tree, but you do not remove the root of that tree, it's possible that that tree will still sprout out and grow again. Do you understand? Because the root of the tree will not removed. But if we remove the root of the tree will dry off. That's why it is. So in conflict, if you are able to just deal with the conflict on the surface without going down deep to remove the root causes of that conflict, the conflict will still resurface. You understand? So building capacity for peace. So when it comes to conflict resolution, you build capacity for peace, strengthening the skills and resilience of communities to manage conflicts non-violently. I think what we're doing here is that we're building your capacity so that next time you have a challenge with somebody, you will sue, you will go for what? Non-violent way of resolving the problem. You will not go and engage to do, you know, you show your power or anything like that. You go the non-violent way to resolve the problem. Are you getting a point now? So that's what it is. So creating new systems. So advocating for reforms that support justice, equity, and inclusivity. So this is what conflict transformation is all about. You you advocate for creating new systems that promote and support justice, equity, and inclusivity. And that's why we are saying National Truth and Reconciliation Commission should be created in Nigeria, for instance. And when that commission is being created, let all the sections of the country be reconciled. Let all the tribes of this country be reconciled. You understand? Let no one look at anyone as an enemy. But the way it is now, we look at others as our enemies. And so it's not correct. And that's why the country is not so healthy. It's not healthy. The country is sick, internally sick. Because you look at the level of division, it worries you. You understand? It worries you a lot. So that's why we must advocate for new systems for us to be able to address it. You understand? So these two concepts now, peace, psychology, and conflict transformation, they intersect. So, and what is the intersection of peace, psychology, and conflict transformation? One, understanding human behaviors. They help you to understand human behaviors, okay? Yes, it gives you insight to what man can do, all right? So, it helps also to promote trauma and healings, all right? Peace, psychology emphasize on healing trauma, support conflict transformation by preparing individuals and communities for reconciliation and collaboration. We must heal ourselves. We must reconcile. It doesn't matter what was our difference, all right? What matters the most now is what we can do together, despite the challenge. Promoting positive peace, facilitating dialogues, all right? So these are the things that are involved. So let's look at some psychological approaches to conflict, um, psychological approaches to conflict. Let's look at it. What are some psychological approaches to conflict? One, we have cognitive approaches. Cognitive what approaches? This focus on thought patterns, all right? How thought patterns influences what conflict behaviors. Thought patterns, how they influence what conflict behaviors. Because it's the way you are thinking that make you to commit suicide. Okay, let me say it this way so that it will not be directly on you. It's the way someone is thinking that make him or she or her to commit what? Commit suicide. You understand? It's someone's thinking that causes depression. That depression leads towards suicide. So if you hear somebody, you hear that somebody kill himself, hang himself, this is what we're talking about here. Thought pattern, thought pattern. I cannot amount to anything in life. Every step I take is a failure. I am a cursed person because anything I do, it fails. Nothing works in my hand. I don't know the reason why God created me in the first place. I hate I hate myself. I don't know the reason why I caused the day I was brought into this world. When you are thinking like this, you will not escape suicide. One day you will just carry sniper and drink, and that is the end. Or if you are strong enough, you go and hang yourself, and that is the end. Do you understand? So by the time you begin to think like this, the devil must make sure that he facilitates you to, to go. Or maybe someone is you are going through a situation whereby someone is bullying you, all right, and the person bullies you to a point that you begin to feel that you cannot amount to anything, that you are a useless person, and then you begin to absorb that abuse and begin to think like that, that I'm a useless person, I cannot do anything in life. So when you begin to align yourself with this thought pattern, surely you commit suicide. That's number one. Number two, when you begin to align yourself with this, it lands you into depression. And that's why you see in America, for instance, or in some of these foreign countries, you see when somebody, you say a knife attack, somebody just carry knife, begin to choke people around. Why? It's third pattern. Or somebody carry a gun and begin go to enter in a particular school and begin to shoot at school children. Are you gonna point now? It's third pattern. These cognitive approaches, the way you are thinking, can influence conflict behaviors or these behaviors. Do you understand? So, key concept, cognitive bias, cognitive biases, errors in thinking, such as stereotyping or confirmation bias, can escalate conflicts, right? When you feel that something is not just going in line with you, with your own belief system, it causes that kind of a situation. Then, perception and misperception, because perception can be false. Do you understand? There can be false perception. That is, you look at someone and then you just conclude that this person is a bad person, and then you, it's like when you see it, when a snail is moving, and maybe it notices like something like a movement, it feels danger, right? And then it withdraw in. But indeed, there was no danger. Maybe somebody was just passing to go his own thing, but the snail felt that there is a danger, so he withdraw. You understand? That's how you feel when you perceive somebody to be a bad person. And when indeed the person is not a bad person, but by your perception, you have concluded that the person, so you begin to withdraw yourself. You don't want to have anything to do with that person. If it's in a car that you see somebody with dada, for instance, now most in our society, you know, when you it's nowadays that people don't look at dada as anything because we discover that people are just doing it for guy. But in those days, when dada was a natural issue that people used to carry dada, when you see dada people, you begin to wonder whether this person is a genuine person or something, is a peaceful person or anything. You begin to look at this person might be a violent person. I get them going on, who must be a drug person or something of that nature, you know. And that's why even if we look at it very critically on our road, if you are traveling in a car with somebody that is carrying dada and police stop you, they will pay attention to the person that is carrying dada. Are you in a point now? Why? It's perception. They perceive that people who behave like this, who carry this kind of hair, are bad people. But that perception may be wrong. You understand that? That's what we're talking about, misperception. So conflict often arises from differing interpretation of events or intention. Differing interpretation of what? Events or intentions. So you look at someone dressed in a particular manner, then you conclude that this person is a mad person because you wear jeans that is torn here and there. But you know nowadays people wear jeans that are torn and it's guy. Do you understand? So you conclude that this person is mad. Wrong perception. So, attribution theory, people may attribute negative motives to others while excusing their own behavior, leading to misunderstanding. Yes, that is where you say you leave the log in your eye, and you are looking at that piece of wood in my eye. Sorry, I had network issues, but I'll continue. Let's continue. I hope the network will be friendly enough for us to continue. All right, so that's the cognitive. So we attribute the negative motives to others. Why excusing there? So that's I was saying that you a string whereby you left the log of wood in your eye and you are looking at the pieces of wood in my eye. That's what we're talking about here. You focus on my misbehavior, or so to say. You forget about your own. You understand? So that's what our attribution theory. So then another approach is emotional approaches. Emotional approaches. Another psychological approach is emotional approaches. That emphasizes the role of emotions like anger, fear, or frustrations in conflict. Because sometimes some of the conflicts are as a result of fear, some as a result of anger, or some even as a result of frustration. Okay, maybe you had a frustrated experience. It can result to conflict. Do you understand? Or you are just afraid of something, and then you start being agitated, you start being shaking, you know, become so violent because you are afraid of a particular. You don't want certain experience to happen to you. You are just afraid, and then you become so agitated. You become so worried, become so concerned. So, what are the key concepts here in emotional approaches? Emotional triggers. Intense emotion can escalate what conflict if not managed. Intense emotion. You get angry so to a point that to even to breathe is a problem because of anger. Calm down. Calm down. You feel so offended, like you're too serious. So emotional intelligence. So the ability to regulate emotions and empathize with others can prevent conflict escalation. Are you gonna point out? So once you have your ability to you know empathize with others, understand other people's viewpoint, and also control your emotions, put your emotions in check, you'll be able to interact with others and also solve problem and then reduce the chances of conflict. A small thing you get angry, small thing you get down. You are so agitated, you are so fearful, you are so scared. Calm down, calm down. Be bold enough, have confidence, believe. It will reduce anxiety, it will reduce fear. You understand? Some of you, because of fear of failure alone, make you to be so afraid, right? So, what are the strategies to address this issue? Teach emotional regulation skills, such as mindfulness or relaxation techniques. Mindfulness. So mindfulness or meditation can help you to address this issue. Then we have behavioral approaches. Talk about cognitive approaches, talk about emotional approaches. Now we're looking at behavioral approaches. Focus on how individuals' actions contribute to so behavioral approaches focus on how individual actions avoidance, competing, as avoidance, competition, or breathing, all right, that affect conflict outcomes. So reinforcement, reinforcement. Certain behaviors are reinforced. Some people, when they are troublesome, they get reward for it. Some people, some people frustrated election results, manipulated the election result. As a result, they use conflict to do this thing and they receive reward for it. Ministerial appointment as other appointment. I get a point now. So this kind of reward system encourages certain behaviors. You understand? Encourages system behavior. That's why somebody's on fire now at the villa in Abuja here. That is the presidential villa at Surok. Someone is on fire, but they cannot fire him because he's still a useful. I have to be careful. I have to be careful so that someone will not go and show them this video now. They will come and say, so you have been using us for example, Abi. So we use you and do example now. Mm. So make her be careful so that they will not come and close IGPF. So IG close here, we can relocate to Kenya. Kenya will accept. I hope Kenya people you accept us now. Uh-huh. If you reject us, we'll go to Malawi. Oh, Malawi will accept us. If you reject us, we'll go to Botswana. And nobody can reject us. Oh. Nobody can stop us. We'll stop us go to somewhere else and continue. You understand? So that is what it is. But somebody is on fire in Aso Rock, but they cannot fire him. Why? What I'm trying to explain. I don't want to mention anybody's name, but you know what I'm talking about. If you are a Nigerian and you know the 2023 general election, you understand and it will also reinforce certain behaviors, and this perpetuate conflict, this perpetuate political instability, so the network is so very good here. The network is so very good here. So somebody, um, Mr. Sam, you are saying we know it is power politics, right? So it reinforces certain behavior, and the challenge is that it did not just reinforce certain behaviors with that particular individual alone, but the society generally begin to look at it that this is the best behavior to do, for you to be considered, for you to be successful. This is the best behavior. You can do this. Do you understand? So that is it. If someone can do it and go scot free, you too can do it and go scot free. You understand? Social psychological approaches explore the influence of group dynamics and social identities, right? So, in group, out groups biases, favoritism towards one's own groups can fuel discrimination and hostility. Yes, you tend to favor your own people only, then it's going to attract hostility and discrimination. When the table turns, you see the different thing. So, social identity theory. Conflict often stems from threats to group identity, group polarization. Group may adopt more extreme position than individuals, escalating them. You understand? And escalating conflicts. Psychoanalytical approaches examine unconscious drives and past experience that shape conflict behavior. Some of us behave based on what happens to us in the past. You understand? So those past experiences shape our future actions. You understand? So that's what it means. So what is it? Projection. You begin to project certain happenings. Say that okay, this and this is possible to happen. And it leads to conflict. Unresolved trauma. Past conflicts or traumas can influence present interaction. You understand? These people that caused me to go through pain, I will never forgive them. Humanistic approaches emphasize the role of personal growth and self-actualization in resolving conflicts. That is the needs-based theory. That is the theory that was promoted by Abraham Maslow. Unmet human needs, security, respect others can often underlie world conflicts. Empathy and connection, fostering understanding is key to resolving conflicts. So let's look at the role psychology plays in understanding conflict behaviors by exploring the underlying thoughts, emotions, and social dynamics. So, what are the role that psychology plays to help us to understand some of the underlying thoughts, emotions, and social dynamics that drive individuals and groups into conflict? What are those? So, what's the key role of psychological aspect in understanding conflict behaviors? One is understanding individual behavior in conflicts. Yes, the effort to understand individual conflict in conflict is key, right? Individual conflict is key. Personality traits, traits like aggressiveness, agreeableness, or openness influence how people approach this conflict. Cognitive attribution theory, like we have discussed, biases, cognitive biases such as stereotyping or confirmation. Emotions, emotional triggers, psychological theories such as emotional intelligence show how managing emotions can de-escalate tensions. So analyzing group dynamics. That is in-group, out-group biases, favoritism towards one group and discrimination against others can fuel conflict. That is, we talk about social identity theory. Threats to group identity can lead to defensive behaviors. So when people begin to exhibit defensive behavior, it can bring about confrontation. You understand? It can bring about confrontation. Individualization or the individuation. Yes, the individuation. As in group context, people may act more aggressively when they feel anonymous, such as in a mob behavior. Do you understand? Identifying structural and systemic influences, structural violence, social norms, environmental stressors. That's like poverty, resource scarcity, and instability can increase stress and aggression, contributing to conflict. So, identifying these structural and systemic influences can help to de escalate what conflict. Understanding aggression and violence. So, psychology helps us to understand aggression and violence. Biological influences like psychological studies investigate how hormones, as test testosterone, brain functions, or genetic predisposition affect aggressive behavior. Frustration aggression hypothesis. Some of us have you have ulcer because of what? Anger. If you get angry too much, you can get ulcer. You understand? So learn how to control your mind. Learn behaviors like aggression can be modeled. It can be what? Modeled and reinforced. Learned behaviors like aggression can be remodeled or it can be modeled and reinforced as being in Bandura's social learning theory. Right? That's what it is. So quickly let's look at aggression, fear, and trauma, and then we'll stop there. Aggression in conflict. Aggression refers to behaviors intended to harm or intimidate others, either physically or psychologically. In conflict, aggression often arises as a response to perceived threats, frustrations, or competition. When somebody is trying to compete with you, you see aggressive behaviors from the opponent. Do you understand? The opposite side. But when someone perceives any element of threat, what do you see? They behave so aggressively, right? Or when some people are frustrated, you see them the way they misbehave. So types of aggression, we have instrumental aggression, that is goal-oriented aggression, used as a means to an end, gaining resources or power. So when somebody is aspiring for power, you see, sometimes they are aggressive. They are aggressive because there is a threat, there's a competition. You understand? So they want to be in power and you want to obstruct them, you want to stop them. So they become aggressive, they become violent. You understand? Because they want to get into power. Hostile aggression, emotion driven aggression aimed at causing harm, often stemming from anger or frustration, most especially in marriages. Hostile environment, right? Why? Because of frustration, because of anger. Relational aggression, non-physical aggression that damage or damages relationships, such as gossip or exclusion. So those are the types of aggression: instrumental aggression, hostile aggression, and relational what aggression. Factors influencing aggression. Biological. It could be a biological problem. It may be a hormones or testosterone, that is brain structure. We talk about psychological frustration. All right. Anger and cognitive biases can make people to behave in a way they behave. Social. Modeling aggression. You know, by the time individual begin to model aggression or aggressive behaviors, result to this. So, what is the role of aggression in conflict? Aggression can escalate conflict, creating cycles of retaliation because when I'm aggressive, I can attack. Another person also aggressive can attack. Do you understand? And so continue to push us into war. Teach emotional regulations and anger management techniques. That's ways to manage the situation. All right. Let's look at fear in conflict. Fear is an emotional response to a perceived threat or danger. In conflict situations, fear often drives defensive or aggressive behaviors. That is, fear often drives what? Defensive or aggressive behavior. and shape how individuals and groups respond to perceived risk. So, what are types of fear? Rational fear, that is based on realistic threats, fear of violence or oppression. These are realistic issues, rational. So you are being rational about it because you have been truly threatened, right? So we'll call it rational fear. Okay. Irrational fear, that is stemming from exaggerated perceptions or misunderstanding. When there's nothing to be afraid, you just be exaggerating it, make it heavy. Our wives sometimes can exaggerate issues when you are not seeing anything in it. Chronic fear, prolonged exposure to threats, often leading to hypervigilance and society. What is the impact of aggression or conflict? One, escalation, polarization are the key things that we see. Biological and psychological mechanism, fight or fight response. So let's look at trauma in conflict. Trauma refers to the psychological and emotional damage caused by deeply distressing or disturbing experience such as violence, war, or abuse. When someone is being abused over time, they become traumatized. I have my sister, my blood sister, right, who, you know, going through so much trauma, has been so much abuse, you understand, has been traumatized, behave like she's innocent. She's not, because of her trauma. So acute trauma results from a single overwhelming event such as violence attack. Some people once you witness some of you, if you witness an attack here, even to sleep, you will not want to sleep. If you sleep, you see the experience. If you close your eyes like this, you see the experience coming back to your mind. And then you won't sleep. You understand? Transformational or transgenerational trauma. Trauma passed down through generations. Okay? Parents will say, I don't want you to go into that. I don't want you to have anything to do with that person or this one or that one. Do you understand? Because of political experience. So this is the much we'll take for today. If you have any question you ask, so when I send you the manual, you can go through it. You understand it more better. All right. So any question? No question. So our training continues tomorrow by 7 p.m. Right. So by the grace of God, we'll finish the modules we want to finish for this training for transfer. So thank you very much. See you tomorrow by 7 p.m. Thank you. And if you're interested to become a member of the institute, you check on the website, you check on our Facebook page, you see the flyer there, you can be part of the induction. Thank you very much.